Hello, beautiful people. Renee Massey here, coming to you live on Friday. I feel like a lot of us are very grateful to be reaching the end of this week, especially for those of us who are in Florida and for those of us who have experienced a lot of the really challenging conditions of these hurricanes. We were absolutely directly in the path. We live like halfway down the east coast of Florida. We are on the coast. We're not like inland. And Michael and I live like 35 minutes or so east of Orlando. So that storm was just like headed straight for us. And we were very, 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 very fortunate that we had a lot of debris. We definitely have a lot of debris, and we're still kind of cleaning things up and we're still assessing a few things, but we're really very fortunate that it was what it was for us. So sending love to all of you who were sharing these experiences and who are still going through some of this stuff. So what I wanted to talk about too is that today, after months, 5 months, Pluto finally goes direct. Now, for those of you who do love astrology as I do, for those of you who are fascinated by the celestial and cosmic movements and influences on this little old planet and the inhabitants, Pluto has been causing a lot of really strong energetic influences. Really, for like the past 2.5 years, it's gotten very intense because of the fact that it's been teetering between Capricorn and Aquarius. Now, Pluto being the outermost planet, it takes 248 years for Pluto to go around the sun. That means that it can stay in a particular sign, a particular constellation for like 30 years, making it what they call a generational planet. With that being the case, it is more about the global impact and the collective versus when we experience a Mercury retrograde and feel day-to-day frustration because we forgot to send an email, because our batteries are draining really fast, because we're not communicating effectively, just different things like that. We experience more day-to-day frustrations and annoyances when the inner planets go retrograde. However, when the outer planets go retrograde, which we had kind of an overlap yesterday, which was very interesting, because on the 9th, Jupiter went retrograde. And Jupiter's retrograde, it's the first of the outer planets. And Jupiter has like this really big energy. It has this energy of like, I've got big dreams, I've got big goals, I've got big ideas, and it's very expansive. And so it went retrograde on the 9th. And so yesterday was the only day this year that we're going to have like all of these outer planets all retrograde at the same exact time. Because today, the outermost planet, Pluto, hanging all the way out there on the edge of our solar system, is going direct. Now, what does that mean? Okay, so Pluto is the ruler of the underworld in Roman mythology. And for those of you who might gravitate more towards the Greek, it is the counterpart of Hades. Okay, so Pluto rules the underworld. There's a lot of like mysterious energy here. Pluto also is the planet that rules over the sign of Scorpio. So there's like a lot of very interesting traits about the planet of Pluto. It's mysterious. It governs control and power struggles. It governs more of the taboo subjects that people are afraid to talk about because they think it would be improper. We can't talk about death. We can't talk about sex. We can't talk about spirits. It's all very taboo. Pluto rules all over that. And it's not bad because it's life. It's all life. And I think it's really interesting because I also believe that most people struggle to deal with these aspects of life. That we live in such polarizing feelings sometimes, and we can't hold all of the energies at once. Most people don't have the capacity to hold the energy of being really happy and grateful and experiencing pleasure in their life, and also navigating challenges and hardships and things that feel really hard for all of us. Hello, Miss Jade. And so with Pluto ruling over some of those really challenging things, the power struggles, the control issues, the taboo subjects, the metaphysical, death, rebirth, the laws and the cycles of life in the universe, all of these things are so important because you cannot experience light without the darkness. You can't really appreciate what it means without darkness. If you don't have anything to compare it to, what do you know about light, right? Hello, Miss Amy. So it's like without the darkness, how do you know what light is? Without the light, how do you know what the darkness is? Without pain, how do you know what pleasure is? And without pleasure, how do you understand pain? And wouldn't it be lovely if we could just all really, really embrace that these emotions are very natural for all of us, instead of trying to resist and push away and push down the depth of who we really are. Because the truth is that there's so many different layers to who you are. And I think a lot of us are really afraid to experience that because we've experienced discomfort and disappointment and pain. And so I think we're afraid to know what it's like to really have a very in-depth experience in this life. You know, to know what it's like to feel such a depth of pleasure, to feel such a depth of pain. And I think that if you can hold both of those energetic frequencies within your body, you can really attract miracles. You can really allow yourself to be in such a strong vibration of receivership because the universe recognizes your ability to handle and hold all things. And that is really important because for those of us that have not been able to hold darkness within us and think that we're only here to hold light, I think that they're going through a really hard time right now too. Right? Hello, Mr. Eric. So we have to be able to hold both of those parts of us, the challenges and the really beautiful, radiant brilliance that is just like dripping off of all of us, the magic. And I think part of that is being really honest with ourselves, being able to be very raw and truthful about who we are and how we feel, and not projecting that onto other people, but strengthening ourselves from within, developing a really, really dynamic and strong inner authority that is sourced from spirit and wisdom. And doesn't always have to be like you're putting armor on to show up for war, for battle, but can also be a softness, a vulnerability, and intimacy. That's that pleasure-seeking part of you, that you can actually fold laundry and experience pleasure, that you can actually be grocery shopping and experience pleasure. That pleasure in our lives has become this sexualized thing because the repression of the feminine dynamics and instincts. It was like, oh no, we can't allow pleasure to happen. If too many people are experiencing pleasure, then how will we scare them? How will they experience fear? How will they shun back and away from their dreams and their desires and their goals if everything that leads them there feels pleasurable? That you can even find pleasure in some of the pain you've experienced because there's actual value there. And so this is where we start to move forward. Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is a tight squeeze for Pluto right now, but soon it's going to make its way into Aquarius and it's going to be there for 20 years. And if you look back at where we were 248 years ago, where Pluto is right now was 1776. So we look at the dynamic of the world and the structures that are coming down. Everything that Pluto stands for. It's bringing the darkness down. It's dismantling things that don't belong. And it is going to renew and restore and rebuild everything in a different way. And then that is where Aquarius comes in. Because Aquarius comes in and it's like, oh, Capricorn, you're going to build me something spectacular. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to innovate on it. I'm going to set it free. I'm going to make it the most unique and the most eccentric and the most otherworldly, outrageous, crazy, amazing thing that you could ever imagine. And it's going to be for humanity. It's going to be for the world. It's going to be for the planet. It's going to be for everyone. And then we get to claim that space for ourselves. But I believe you've got to at least start now. I wouldn't wait if I were you for all of that to start taking place. I would start really digging in much deeper right now. So for those of you who are like, oh my God, I'm ready. I'm ready for the magnetism. I'm ready for like sex on legs. I'm ready for like the feminine embodiment, the consciousness, the becoming of everything that is true and authentic about me, because I've already learned in my life how to take action. I've been in freaking masculine energy since I was born, you know? You got to go, you got to do, you got to go. I have found the biggest shift in my business this year has been in the sitting and the trusting and the waiting and the pleasure and the gratitude and the love. And it's just like dripping off of my life and my business and my clients, my whole world. And so for my birthday this year, because my birthday was last week, right? It was the 3rd, whenever the 3rd was. Yeah, it was a week ago. So the business turned 4. I turned 42. So it was a big deal. And so I decided to take this really incredible package that I curated, and I made it 50% off. And then we got hit by a hurricane. And then another hurricane came. And so I said, I'm going to push it off. I'm going to extend this special because I really want to make sure that everybody's at least aware of it. And when, I don't know, when we're preparing for storms and we're preparing for the unknown, we're not really thinking about classes and programs and things like this, right? I don't know. I wasn't thinking about it. But I'm thinking about it now. And so it's like, it's time to move forward. Pluto is direct. We are in this whole new paradigm. This new movement is coming. It is happening. I can feel it in my bones. And that's why I want to share it with everybody, because I want you coming on this journey with me, but only if you feel it in your bones too. Only if you feel it in your bones. So the special 50% off for the total Mystic 360 experience. It's a very, very, very big deal. And these are for the individuals who are really ready to find that magic, develop it, hone it, amplify the magnetism. But there are very, 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 very special ways to find that magnetism within you. It is a unique journey for each one of us, but I have figured out how to help women unlock it for themselves. Because it is not about me creating a cookie cutter experience for you. It is about me holding space for you to have the experience that is authentic to your spirit, to your heart, and to your soul. So that you can refine, you can elevate, you can magnetize, you can self-actualize, you can embody, and you can lead yourself forward. And with that, anything is possible. You don't worry about conversations you're having with other people because you're so solid from within that nothing can shake you. You can hold just as much pain as you can hold pleasure. You can move mountains. You're going to build a business. You're going to attract love. You're going to do the things that you have been holding yourself back from because you have been fearing discomfort and pain. And at a certain point, I think to myself, well, Haven't I already been in discomfort and pain? Why would I trade that off? Why would I trade one discomfort for another? I know that there is one discomfort that I do not grow from. And I know that there is one discomfort that is actually me stretching and growing and evolving. So, Total Mystic 360 experience. This is a full year, a full 12 months of being under my tutelage, my mentorship, my guidance, all of the containers that I am going to, all of like the programs and the courses, the master classes, everything I'm going to teach for a full year. The regular investment for that is $7,777. And the investment up until 8 o'clock, if you feel the pull, message me. If you don't, that's okay.